Welcome them to the stage and know what to do. John Carpenter and Sandy Johnson, the Halloween panel. Welcome. Usually have a little bit of more of an offbeat questions that I usually like to ask that you don't normally get asked at these Comic-Cons. First off, for John, you were in Pittsburgh in the 1980s to meet George Romero. Was that strictly a social visit, or did you guys talk about anything else?
It was a social visit, okay? We just hung out and talked about movies and life, and that was it. He was a great, great guy. And I loved his movies. You guys see his movies?
Half these people were in some of them. And for you, Sandy, this kind of is something I think is kind of strange. You're the first person he kills, okay? And he's 6 years old. They did not have a 6-year-old with a knife, so do you have any insights on how that happened? Use the microphone. It really it adds so much.
Yes. Well, obviously you can't have a 6-year-old in a room with a knife and a naked person and have them kill them. It's not appropriate. So Deborah Hill had very small hands, and so she did the kill.
How many takes did that take for it to come out the way they liked it?
We had a bunch of takes, didn't we? What do you remember?
The lady,
If you could speak a little more into the microphone, that'd be awesome.
The lady that
What's
does...
that? What did you say?
I just said when you...
What? I'm sorry.
This is going to be that kind of Q&A.
The lady that was a photographer for Halloween, her name... anyway, she told me it was 2 takes.
Was it 2? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was 2. We did a lot of practicing.
We fucked up a lot early, okay?
Yes.
Before we did this. This was the last night of shooting, and this was a Panaglide, which was a camera that you wear and you move, and it's very smooth and glides. So we shot the front of the house and went up to the window, and Sandy was there, and I don't remember who you were kissing.
I was kissing my boyfriend, David Kyle.
There you go. And we passed them, and when we got past them, they ran upstairs. Sandy got ready. We came through the house. All the lights were changed the opposite direction. So we come through the house, and Deborah is there with a knife, camera, and me. And we go up the stairs, and there's Sandy. And we do the killing, and then all the lights are being changed back the other way as we come back out of the house and meet the parents outside. That was the first shot. And to get up the stairs to Sandy, it took several takes.
Yeah.
But we finally made it.
Looks great. I just had to ask how that was done, because that is a bit of movie magic.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of theatrical schools use that scene as a teaching point. Yes, I just learned that recently.
Nice.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was told that.
So would you mind if I could open the questions up to the rest
Please do.
All right, you got questions? I always pick you first. We're going this way first.
John, obviously you had so many classic movies. I was wondering, what is your favorite that you've directed? And also, obviously, your music's the best ever. What's the greatest score that you feel like you've composed?
Okay, I don't have a favorite movie. I don't have one that I think is above the others. I love them all. In terms of score, I don't have a favorite either. I'm sorry.
Honest question, honest answer. Right here. If you could come on up. Here. All right. How many people think it's a 2-part question? Here we go.
Okay. All right. Well, hi, John Carpenter, Sandy Johnson. Wonderful to have you with us at Steel City Con today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, I'm trying to think if it's a 2-part question, but okay. All right. So, the question for the both of you is, which movie moment do you both look back on as the most impactful in both of your careers? And for John Carpenter, well, first of all, I loved Escape from L.A. Your music you did with Shirley Walker was amazing. I always enjoy listening to it. What was it like working on someone like the Stephen King movies, as well as working on the music you did for the 2022 Firestarter film?
There you go.
I could. I would say that the downstairs scene in Halloween I liked that because it was so playful and fun, and nobody has a clue that something terrible is about to happen. It is very well written, so it just goes in. It's Halloween. It's all nice and fun. Upstairs, have a good time. Bye, and then wham, the whole thing changes. And that's one of my favorites because it's such a switch there. And and of course, fans tell me about it all the time because it's impacted them. So anyway, that's probably my favorite.
Well, the most impactful moment in movies took place when I was young, sitting in the theater in 1959, seeing a movie called The Fly. You guys know what that movie is? When she pulled the black sheet off her husband's head, and there was a fly head under there, popcorn flew out of my hands. I was up. I didn't know what the hell was going on. That was fabulous, okay? That's the most impactful.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Dan, do you have way in the back. Let's head to the back. Okay. And they talk on the microphone, and their question comes out. What?
Do you miss the way horror movies used to be made?
Me? I don't know. I think movies are all the same. You're just telling a movie story. You have different tools nowadays. You have digital, and you have different actors. It's all the same. It's exterior, interior, day or night, and that's it. So I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Okay. Well, then let's go over to this side of the room, right over here to your left.
Welcome. I was just wondering, any director plans in the future for you?
You have any director plans?
No, I hadn't thought about that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Working on music now, doing a lot of music, which is a lot of fun. So it's a lot easier than movies, okay? A lot less pressure. I don't have to leave the house. I can have coffee. It's awesome.
So over the years, have you changed the way you compose? I mean, do you do anything digitally now, or with technology?
It's always been digital. Well, it's not. It's always been the same thing. It's keyboard driven, okay? And when I say digital, it's a computer that's working for us. Well, we play guitars and do various things. So
Okay. Just checking. Here we have a question over here.
Did you develop Michael Myers in Halloween?
did I develop it?
Did you make the process to make Michael Myers?
Well, Michael Myers is not really a man. He's a force of evil. So the name Michael Myers comes from the British distributor who released Assault on Precinct 13, Michael Myers, and Miracle Films in England. One of the nicest men ever. And he's just a force of nature. He has no character. He's pure evil, and you cannot kill him, really. Although, wait till you see Halloween Ends. It's coming soon. Wait till you see it.
I have a quick question for Sandy. What was the audition process like for this?
Well, what I can remember, we interviewed, I think, in a house. Yeah. Yes, and I wasn't sure which house later on, but I thought it wasn't the Myers house.
It was the house we were shooting in, but we auditioned you, and while we were shooting in other scenes.
Okay, right. I remember it wasn't a studio. We went into the house, and I remember there weren't a whole lot of people there, but there were a few. And they asked me questions and different things. And then I think maybe within a couple days, my agent called and said I had been cast as Judith Myers.
Nice.
So it was a good day.
It's a good day. Right down the middle, let's get a question or two.
Hi, how's it going today?
Good, how are you?
Very well, very well. My question is for you, specifically, Mr. Carpenter. Did you have any specific influences from like the Roger Cormans or the Ray Harryhausens of the world in the way that you do your own direction style?
Oh, well, I love Roger Corman. I've always loved him since I was a kid. My biggest influence is Howard Hawks. He's an old director none of you really know. And he did a bunch of comedies and westerns way back before any of you were born. And I love his work. So he is my main cinematic influence.
Let's go down front, right here.
How you doing, John? Hey. It's me again. Actually, kind of going off of what this person just said, talking about cinematic style. All of the films that you had done, they all have this brilliant sort of slow pace to them, and you have this incredible use of tracking shots that you keep the audience attention and move it around the screen. I've always been a fan of that style of filmmaking. I think you're the best at it, and I think that it's just wanted to ask you about that type of particular shot. What was, in your opinion, one of the more successful shots you found you've ever done in your career that may or may not have involved tracking, that you thought you were really proud of it when it was done? What movie was it in, and how did it come around?
Well, have you ever seen any movies directed by Max Ophuls?
No, I have not.
Oh, he's the king of tracking. That guy stole everything from him. So,
old movies with tracking shots, and there's one that opens with a tracking shot going for 15 minutes. I'm forgetting the name of it, though. You might know it.
Was that Touch of Evil, you think?
Yes, Touch of Evil. That's the one, yeah.
There's even longer tracking shot in that. It's a whole reel, 10 minutes.
Wow.
It's in the middle. It's in the motel. I've always loved tracking shots. And when you're a low-budget movie, you know, tracking shots are hard. You have to lay down, old-fashioned ways, lay down track. That's what it means, tracking. You put the camera on a dolly and you move it along this track. Well, that takes time. When you're in a low-budget movie, you don't have time. But the Panaglide, the Steadicam, you move along and it's just the operator you're killing. Everybody else is happy. So that doesn't matter. So you can really track all the time. That's what I did.
Did you have a particular tracking shot you loved?
No.
How about the one from Halloween 3 that starts at the top and goes all the way in?
Well, I didn't direct Halloween 3, so...
Okay, so let's get to the next question.
Really?
Right back here. I got just two more here, then we'll move on.
Hi there. First, before I ask my question, I just wanted to thank you both. Halloween was like my first ever horror movie, and it's got me into major horror. I wanted to see what you guys both thought of a movie with like such a low budget and such short like shooting time becoming a huge major franchise, and how you feel about stuff like that with Michael Myers and all of the characters becoming such popular well names.
Well, personally, I feel great about it because I have to get paid every time and it's wonderful. And I think probably Sandy feels good about it too. So,
Yeah, it's an amazing film. Obviously, he is a wonderful, talented writer, director, so all of those things just worked their magic. So it wasn't really about money. It was about great talent and putting that forth, and then everybody just seeing it and say, wow, that's just one in a million. I mean, that's just a great film. And obviously, with everybody still here, it is, you know, it's a classic. Everybody still loves it, not just here, but all around the world. So it's amazing.
but I'd like to point out something to all of you. When Halloween was first released, it was a bomb.
That's right.
The critics hated it. They hated it. They didn't think it was scary. They didn't think it was interesting. They said, John Carpenter has no talent with actors. That's what they said. So
they know?
I thought, okay, well, that's over with. But word of mouth, that's what grew the movie. And so about 6 months after it first opened, it was a hit. So we were lucky. Don't you think so, ma'am? Kidding.
Okay. We'll get two more questions on this side of the room.
Just want to know how you feel about Rob Zombie's version of Halloween.
Next question.
And a question, and then we're going to go to the back of the room.
This is a question for John. I just wondered if you remember, if Halloween 3 had been a success, or a bigger success, and you had continued this idea of an anthology series where each one was a standalone movie without Michael Myers, do you remember any of the other ideas that were thrown around for potential sequels?
I remember a couple, sure, but I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Let's head to the back of the room.
Okay. Hi. Before this is my question for John, but before I start, I just want to say I own George Romero's desk.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Thank you. My question is, where did the inspiration come for Snake Plissken? And then in the time of reboots and sequels being made and everything, is there a possibility for Escape from Earth?
Well, okay. First of all, probably not Escape from Earth, because I don't think Kurt doesn't want to play Snake Plissken anymore because he can't do what is required to get ready for the part physically. There's a lot of weightlifting and et cetera. He doesn't think he has it anymore. He's too old. But I think there's a way to do it, just making him an old gunfighter, you know. But well, we'll see. You never say never in this business. What was the other part of the question? I can't remember. I'm old now. I can't remember.
I don't know, but we'll move on to this dude.
Yeah.
I got the question of the day here. And the thing, did Kurt Russell or Keith David get infected?
I can't believe this. I know, and I'm not going to tell you.
Please, sir.
What do you think of that?
Let's keep it in the. Let's round it up. Get 3 more on that side of the room.
Hi. First of all, welcome to Still City Con. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Where are you?
Stand up. If you could stand up
for me.
Stand up, please. There you go.
There you go.
Again, thank you for coming here. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. So, just hypothetically, if you were to make like Michael versus whatever character, like Freddy versus Jason, who would you think would be up against Michael?
Oh, dear. You know, I don't even know how to answer that question. But I think Michael can't be killed. And well, these others are just a ripoff of him. So I don't know. I can't answer it.
Let's grab another one.
In an interview with the directors of Friday the 13th, they had said that they got direct inspiration from Halloween. How do you feel about that?
Can you stand up? I can't see you. Oh, there you are.
Hello.
So the directors of what?
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Well, here's what they got inspiration from. We were a $300,000 movie that made a whole bunch of money. That's what they got inspired by. The money.
Let's grab one more from that side of the room.
Do you have any plans to go to your music?
To go on tour with your music.
Can you stand up? I can and ask again. Oh, there you. Oh, yeah. Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
Good.
So, you want to know what now? Am I going to go on tour with the music? Well, we might. Again, we did go on tour with it. They had a great time. It was a worldwide tour. And we might do it again, but you have to make sure there's no more COVID. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. You got a deal.
And since we're in the kid mode, let's go over to this side of the stage. And we had this guy. Stand up and your question.
Are you a fan of like giant monster movies?
I love giant monster movies. I love Godzilla.
And right down the middle.
Hi, good evening. What was it like to work with Donald Pleasance in the original Halloween?
Ooh, fabulous. He became a real close friend of mine. But when he came to do the movie, he wasn't sure about me. He wasn't sure why he was doing the movie either. We had lunch together before we started shooting, and he said, I don't know why I'm here, but my daughter liked your music in Assault on Precinct 13, so I've decided to do your movie. I was terrified. I was a young kid. I didn't know how to just Donald Pleasance. But we ended up being real close friends. You weren't working that. He wasn't working anymore, was he? Oh, okay.
Unfortunately not. I really wished I could have worked with them.
Down the middle? Or
My question is for John. As a fellow musician who is very amateur to your expertise, how do you get inspired when you write a new composition, or what do you do to prepare? Like you prepared for Halloween. How did you know that was going to be Michael's theme?
Well, let's see. Marijuana? Preparation? No, that's not a fair answer. I knew. You see, when I was a student filmmaker, when you're a student filmmaker, you have no money, so you have to do everything yourself. So you direct, you shoot it, blah 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 blah, and you do the music. So I didn't have any money for a composer, so it was me. So I had to figure out what can I do that's effective yet simple, because I don't have great chops. So my father taught me 5/4 time on the bongos when I was young. Pop, 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 pop. That's 5/4 time. And I just did it as octaves on a piano, and then changed the key. So it was something I could play, and it just worked out. I'm a really lucky guy, I got to tell you. Really, really lucky.
Question back there.
Yeah, thank you both for coming. We've been wanting to meet you guys for a while. John, this is for you. Another horror movie that I love is The Fog. And I had a pleasure of meeting Adrienne Barbeau a few years ago in the cast.
Right.
And she had glowing reviews about you. So how was it like working on that movie?
Well, it was nice she had glowing reviews. She and I were married. So I'm very happy about that. That was another low-budget movie. And it was fun. I mean, I had a great cast. I worked with Janet Leigh. She taught me a bunch of things about studio acting. She had to do a scene where she had to cry. And we had technical problems. She did it 9 or 10 times. And every time she did it right, studio trained. She didn't do it by the method, didn't come up with it. She could do it. I was very, very impressed. It was a fun movie to make. Fun movie.
And right down the middle here.
Can you tell us about the fight scene in They Live?
Sure. Okay. Anybody who hasn't seen They Live, Roddy Piper is one of the stars. He was a wrestler. And Keith David is just a terrific actor. So they worked the fight out for a month and a half before. That's how Roddy said that's how long it really takes to do a good fight in wrestling. You got to rehearse it for a month and a half to really get it good. So that's what they did. They worked with our stunt coordinator, Jeff Amata, and they did it in the backyard of our office, and they had it. It was wonderful. I'm sorry if I let fly a secret of wrestling. I don't mean to do that. I apologize to all of you.
Okay, let's head back over to this side of the room.
Well, John, that's what I was just going to ask you, actually. They Live is like one of my favorite movies all time. And I have to ask you, I was a true, Roddy Piper was like an idol to me. So I met him 14 times, but I have to ask, how did you get Roddy Piper into the movie? And I heard he was like such a sweetheart guy to work with.
He was, and I was just asking him. The part required a working class guy, and rather than some Hollywood slick guy, I went with Roddy. He had his face he had a lot of scars, and he looked like he'd been working. He was a working guy, so that's what I went with. He was fun to work with. It was a difficult transition from wrestling into movies. We have a different discipline than wrestling. Wow. But it worked out fine.
Question right back here against the wall.
Hi, Mr. Carpenter.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad.
So, my question is, in the recent Halloween Kills movie, there is like some Easter eggs to Halloween 3, which you obviously produced but didn't direct. So my question is Halloween 3 potentially canon to the Halloween 2018 timeline?
Canon?
Canon, like a part of that continuity.
Oh man, that's a tough question. Well, I know that Jason Blum has talked about remaking Halloween 3. I know this. Now I don't know if he will, but it would be a good movie to remake. Just do it to really modernize it. And I don't know, maybe. I apologize for being a smartass in my answers tonight. I'm really sorry.
You again? Okay.
Out of all the Halloween sequels you've seen, which is your favorite and your least favorite?
Okay, well,
that's why I didn't give him a mic.
Thank you for the question, young man. I don't care about the Halloween sequels. I made the first one as a director. And that's the only one I care about, except for the paycheck I get for the others. And I hate to be that kind of a guy, but that's the truth.
Let's get this guy right down front.
Hello to both of you.
Thank you.
I just got to say, this is totally amazing, surreal experience for me, being in your presence.
Stop it.
Yeah, you too. Sandy, I met you a couple of times, and you're a real sweetheart, so God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. And I was just wondering, could you talk about Halloween 2? Did you expect there to be a sequel in the sibling timeline?
No, I didn't expect a sequel. But once again, the movie business is ruled by money. Halloween made so much money. Here they came again, the same guys. Hey, John, let's do another one. Yeah, and I guarantee you, if Halloween Ends makes a lot of money, guess what? Just guess what?
Let's go to way over that side of the room, then we're going to bounce over to this side.
Hi. Right over here, John. And to your left.
To your left. There you go.
Thank you.
You shot a lot of movies with You shot a lot of practical effects in a lot of your movies, the fog, the thing. I'm wondering what the most challenging one was for you to actually get on film.
The Thing was a challenging fucking movie to make. Let me tell you right now, that was it. The rubber stuff in that, oh God, that was tough. And the cold weather, it was tough, man, tough. No women, tough.
And let's kick to the other side of the room, to your right.
Thank you for coming to our show. Is everybody happy to see John Carpenter and Sandy Johnson? I love movies. You're my favorite director of all time. I think you're the best director of all time. I'm just going to say that. 2 questions. I'll be quick. Who's your favorite DP to work with? And how do you feel about this new wave of synth bands that you've inspired? I know you've actually collaborated with some.
Dean Cundy would be my favorite cinematographer. I think he's great. Synth, which ones are you thinking of, synth bands?
Carpenter Brute, who is your namesake, who took his namesake from you, actually. And then Gunship, who you did the intro
I love
for.
Gunship. Yeah, I love Gunship. I love them. I mean, look, man, any musicians in the audience, get a synthesizer and start making music. You can do it, and it'll sound great. It's a keyboard-driven instrument. If you can play keyboards, you can sound like Vangelis, okay?
We got time for about 2 or 3 more questions. Wow, way in the back. How'd you get back there so fast?
Hang on a second. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Beautiful young lady right here. I want to hear her question.
Okay, where? There's so many. Where? Oh, here?
Hi, Miss Sandy. I was wondering if it's as fun to die in a horror film as it looks.
That's a great question.
Yes, it was a lot of fun to die in a horror film. And actually, I'm going to be dining a lot more before too long. So, yeah, I liked it so well, I'm about to do it again. You're welcome.
Yep, now the back of the room.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. I was wondering, since you're obviously like making a lot of money off of these, how do you motivate yourself to do stuff when money is no longer like that much needed? It's not needed. How do you motivate?
Well, okay. Here's the truth: is I love what I do. I love creation. I love to direct movies. I love to produce movies. I love to compose. So even if they didn't pay me, I would still be doing this. Being paid is just a way of survival. So I motivate myself because I get to do what I love. And I got to live a childhood dream of being a movie director. Man, that's hot shit.
Got time for 2 more questions. One right here.
Yeah, yes, John. I wanted to know, since you were mentioning about money in the fog, did Father Malone ever give you your money?
Sorry, say again?
Did Father Malone ever give you your paycheck in the fog?
Nice and slow.
Oh, did Father Malone ever give you your money in the fog?
Father Malone, the character?
Yes.
Al Holbrook?
Yeah.
He didn't know me any money.
No, I know. It's from the scene, I mean. You asked him, Father Malone, can I get paid?
All right, and let's get to another question. We need 2 more questions.
Dude, come on, dude.
Come on, dude.
This
Right in the
message
back, right there.
This question's for John. I really like The Thing was my favorite movie that you made, but in They Live, whose idea was it for Piper's line when he went into the bank about chewing bubble gum?
Okay. When I was finishing the script up, and Roddy gave me this book. It's a book he carried around with him as a wrestler, and he would write down ideas and lines he would use in matches. So I've come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum was a line he used when he was going to wrestle. I think it was Playboy Buddy Rose. I don't know if you remember him. So it was his line. So I just used it.
Wow. Let's do these 3 and then call it.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that you mentioned in watching The Fly that it was formative for you. And I think I speak for a lot of us when I say that your films and music have done that for us.
That's sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
Last year you remixed Church's track, Good Girls. Do you plan on remixing for any other artists?
Love to do that. That was fun to do, too.
Awesome.
And she's a great singer.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, man, yeah.
I also wanted one more question about Halloween. Kids really, really seem to love Michael Myers. He comes to birthday parties and they celebrate with him. What do you think adds to that phenomenon?
It's weird, isn't it? I don't get it. I mean, he's a psychopathic killer that you can't kill. There's something about him that just lives on and on and on. You can't kill the boogeyman. What am I talking about? People love him. They love to play with evil. They don't want it in their lives, but they love it.
Okay, and down here.
Hi. The Thing is my favorite movie of yours, and I was sorry. I was just wondering what was your favorite practical effect from that movie?
Okay, I don't know if you remember when the doctor's head came off and goes down on the floor and turns upside down and grows legs and crawls. I love that. I love doing it.
Excellent. We got time for one more question.
Okay, one more.
And then you guys are headed back to your tables to sign?
We are.
Okay, and you guys are across the parking lot. Am I correct?
I don't know. Are we?
Yeah, we're in the hotel.
They are.
We're in the hotel.
Okay. All right, here's the... Okay. Well, that's very kind of you to get... We're going to do 2 questions. He was going to give her last question to her, but we'll do both of them.
Oh, okay, cool. So, you know how you said every other horror movie character is a ripoff of Michael Myers?
Yeah.
What about Leatherface? Who would win in a fight? Michael Myers or...
Leatherface is a cool dude. Toby Hooper was a friend of mine, and that was one of the great horror movies of all time, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All right, don't let anybody kid you. George Romero and Toby Hooper were two seminal horror directors, and I admire them both.
Excellent. And we'll squeeze one last question in.
Thank you. This question is for Sandy. How is screaming in a horror movie, like, how is it different every single take that you do, or do you have like a specific sound that you want to make? Like, how does that work? How do you choose?
I would say that it's different. It's not always the same. And I just use things from my life that really scared the hell out of me. And so I kind of think of different things. And so there are different levels of screaming. Yeah. So am I just screaming, or am I actually trying to get someone to hear that scream? Or is it like, there's no one for 1,000 miles, it doesn't matter. So it's kind of where I go for that energy.
We can't thank you enough for coming back, hanging out. Give it up, John Carpenter, Sandy Johnson, Halloween panel.
Hi, fans. Just reminding you that those fine people at 80stees.com sponsored this panel recording. And if you're a fan of John Carpenter's movies, they have the shirts you need to let everyone know. You can even use coupon code FSCarpenter to get 30% off your next order. So visit 80stees.com today. See you next time.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Phantom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.